The title of the exhibition, Protectorate, stems from the sort of interregnum that Cromwell oversaw in England in his time. That sort of void that is created every time they lose a monarch. And I felt I could play with the idea or the notion of the word. The series was conceived because I was in London doing an MFA at Goldsmiths University, and I had to come up with something for a final exhibition. So the Brexit sort of mayhem was in full swing, and I kind of thought, well, I was sort of struck by the intensity of it, really being an outsider, and the sort of divisions that were kind of being imposed on society by the referendum results. So I kind of wanted to put together a series of impressions more than a narrative of what I was seeing. And so I sort of built that up over about 2 years. And most of it was shot in London. Some of it was shot in the border areas in the north here, and some of it was shot on my kitchen table at home. And then I came across, purely by accident, this concept of the protected view that exists in London, and what essentially it is a protected view of certain monuments, principally St. Paul's, from certain high vantage points in London. And I shot 3 of those. So the whole kind of play on protected and protected view and what are we protecting, and the notion of conservatism, I felt all kind of mixed in together very neatly. I was walking in Greenwich with a friend on the morning that I took the photograph, and I spotted the statue covered in plastic. The plinth was visible, the writing on the plinth is clearly visible, and I saw that it was George II. And I took the photograph. I liked the fact that, first of all, he was covered in black plastic in a refuse sack, and secondly, that the blue band that ties the plastic down on the statue has a kind of echo of EU blue to my eyes anyway.
Yes.
And I just thought that was kind of ironic. George II, as it turns out, he was the last British monarch to be born outside of the UK. I read that the Queen, on a visit to Berlin, had worn blue that was regarded by probably pro-Remain observers as being of EU blue. And EU blue is a certain blue. It has a given RGB value. I think it's 137. 37, something like that. Anyway, the coin is kind of, I suppose, it's the fundamental, the £1 coin is the fundamental unit of British currency. It's the sovereign represented on it. And on the coin, she wears an earring. So in Photoshop, I took out the earring and I gave her an earring of an EU, of a euro symbol.
Yeah.
And the caption on the bottom is simply, "She wore blue." There was a debate, during kind of high Brexit before we entered the strange times we're in now with COVID-19, and in Parliament, at which it was asked, would there potentially be food shortages if Brexit went wrong, or if there were issues with ports? And the Northern Ireland MP, Sammy Wilson, he sort of said, in response to this question by a minister or by a backbencher, let them go to the chippy, and that's where the title of the image comes from. I kind of thought, how can I illustrate that? Because I felt it had the overtones of Marie Antoinette's "Let them eat cake" written all over it. And again, it's this idea of language and the use of language.